just got to compliment Alan McCabe and Mo Odom. I've had some teams that the guys have had their injuries, they might be out for 6 to 8 weeks. But testament to the character of those two. Alan had an ankle injury in the TCU game. Mo, at the end of the TCU game, came up with a foot. He's got a mid-foot sprain. But neither guy practiced the last 2 days. And especially Mo, there was no hesitation when I said, "How you feeling? What do you think? You sure you don't want to, make this thing perfect and get ready for Kansas?" And there was not a chance in the world the way that kid did before the game. And Alan, same thing, gutted it out. So very impressive. Very thankful to have those two in the program.
When you're already playing with 7-man rotations, how rare is it to have a team have this many injuries and the impact of that on the season even?
Injuries are it's a part of it. I mean, I found out today, I didn't even realize that Oklahoma State center, who had a really good year this year at the end of the game, just crazy thing, tears his ACL. I mean, when I played, I didn't move fast enough maybe to hurt myself. These guys are superior athletes that are, playing a very physical game and a lot of contact and things like that happen.
You just mentioned 2 guys in the 7-man rotation, and you've had other guys who have been hurt, sick, out. How's that felt? Just the unluckiness of it for you?
I don't feel like it's we came out with an objective to bring 15 guys in, and we have the numbers we have now. That's the world we live in, unfortunately. And I just can't thank enough the guys that are playing, that are pushing through injuries. Santi is another guy. He's had both ankles hurt over the last couple of weeks, and he made such a huge impact in this game, especially in the first 4 minutes of the second half, when a lot of guys would put their head down if they missed a layup. He just kept going after the ball and going after the ball and going after the ball. So he personifies the type of players that I like to coach, and just thankful that he's pushed through injuries this year. He has not felt perfect in probably a couple months.
Along those lines, how is Noah and his face doing?
Yeah, he came back out, supported the team at the end. He was eligible to go back in the game, but at that point I didn't think it was necessary to put him back in, but he should be fine. He got a couple of stitches, and he was prepared to go back in the game if he could, and so I don't see any reason that he wouldn't be available next game.
What was the key after the first 5 minutes when Utah went up by 9 and you guys just said take control?
It's just we got off to a little bit of a flat start, and they were scoring it. I told the guys, like, in that first media, the only thing good that's happened here is that Brown picked up 2 fouls. Like, that legitimately was like the only good thing that happened. But then we circled the wagons and started playing better, and went on a big run at the end of the first half.
You talk about how clean the game was. You only had 5 turnovers and you only committed 6 personal fouls. So I don't even know. It's been a while since you guys had a game that clean.
This game was night and day compared to our TCU game. That was a freaking war. I mean, that felt like a football game more than basketball. And this game couldn't have been any different. And you're right, it was very, very cleanly played. And I knew the turnovers. I knew coming in they were only turning teams over 8.5 times a game in league games. So, like, we got to be under 8 turnovers in this game, because we've done a very good job in the turnover differential, and we didn't do that versus TCU. We had we only forced 7 and we committed 13, which is really uncharacteristic of our team. So that was a point of emphasis to take care of the ball. And I remember both turnovers, like we botched an exchange with the ball in the first half, and then Allen had the right intentions to throw it to Masamba. He was wide open, just threw it too hard. So it's great as a coach when you have so few mistakes that you could actually clearly remember them like that.
Coach, how much do you credit the turnaround both in the first and second half defensively to the zone defense you guys are playing?
It has worked in both games versus Utah. and for some reason we've sprinkled it in some other games. It hasn't always been great, but it's a good fit for this opponent. Because Brown is a nightmare to keep out of the paint, and if you just allow him to have space to work in a man defense the whole game, then all those fouls that we didn't commit, we would have had a lot more guys potentially in foul trouble. So I think that was helpful to contain Brown more than anything else. He's the one guy that we really on the scouting report were concerned about.
And how much
What-
more
what-
to do
what-
when you have Ja in the paint, being able to protect that? How much easier is it to run this 2-3 zone with a guy like that being able to block
Yeah,
shots?
him and Santi around the basket. We had 9 blocks as a team. That's great activity, and he had 4. Musamba did was really good at what we need him to do, just be in that last line of defense, and Santi at 3. So both guys in those positions did a great job.
Thanks, Cam.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.